This Week in Iowa, tax reform from the Republicans, but they don't agree on how to get there. We break down the different plans. Then a refugee family arrives in Iowa, the harrowing journey this young family took and the family they left behind, plus the need from Iowans to help. Hi everyone, and thank you so much for being with us for This Week in Iowa. I'm Sabrina Ahmed. Tax season has begun. We all have taxes top of mind, so let's talk about some proposals from the governor and the legislature looking at what to do about how much you pay Uncle Sam in the future. In her condition of the state, the governor laid out her plans for major tax reform. She has 4 big pieces in this proposal, so stay with me. 1 is establish a flat 4% individual income tax rate. 2 is to eliminate retirement income tax, exempt net capital gains on sales of employee-awarded capital stock, and the 4th is to cut Iowa's corporate tax rate down all the way to 5.5%, of course, over time. Senate Republicans in the legislature and the House have all released their own proposals. So let's get into those legislative proposals, and we'll start with the Senate. This is big, it's complex, more than 100 pages, so stick with me on this, okay? It can get a bit gritty. This bill includes a flat individual income tax of 3.6%. That's lower than the governor's proposal. It lowers the corporate tax rate to a flat 7.8%. That's higher than the governor's proposal. It gets rid of some tax credits and exemptions for corporations, calling it a wash. Their plan eliminates taxes on retirement income as well and increases the sales tax over time. Finally, the Senate plan restructures the taxpayer relief fund. They make it an income tax elimination fund. So their ultimate goal in the Senate is to eliminate personal income tax in Iowa. All right, now let's go to the House. This is more similar to the governor's plan. Here's where it's the same. It uses the same language on income tax to 4% as the governor, uses the same language as the governor on making retirement income tax-free, and it uses the same language on her plan for a farmer retirement exemption piece, again, trying to make retirement income not taxed. Here's how the plan is different than the governor's plan. It does not include a tax cut for corporations. They say they want to keep the focus on individual Iowans who need relief most right now. It includes an outline on how to use the taxpayer relief fund to make this tax cut sustainable and return the money back into the hands of taxpayers. And the House does not increase the sales tax in their plan. So, how do Democrats feel about all of this? Well, as you can imagine, they're critical. They say it's going to raise taxes on most Iowans and not actually save Iowans money. Senator Zach Walz, who's the minority leader, says the sales tax increase proposed by Senate Republicans will have a disproportionate impact on low-income Iowans, and the tax cuts on a state level, including that corporate tax cut, would lead to municipalities, those local municipalities, raising property taxes to make up for the lack of state aid. And he says we still don't know the real impact the tax plans will have because we haven't seen the fiscal note, saying the Republicans are trying to push this through too quickly.
They're clearly trying to rush the bill through. Our view, based on what we've read so far, is that this plan will actually raise taxes in a lot of hardworking Iowa families. And it will not do anything to actually solve the Reynolds workforce crisis, which Democrats and Republicans agree is the #1 issue facing our state.
So the Democrats plan to release their own tax plan sometime this session. We don't know when yet. The House Republicans' tax plan has been introduced in the legislature. That Senate Republican plan also introduced. They already have a subcommittee scheduled for Monday, likely before that fiscal impact is released. Okay, everyone, let's switch gears. We're going to talk about continued efforts to save people stuck in Afghanistan after its fall to the Taliban. An update on Task Force Argo. This morning we are sharing an update on Task Force Argo. After the fall of Afghanistan to the Taliban in August, the U.S. government evacuated many American citizens and allies, but not all. Private groups stepped in to evacuate people stuck in the country whose lives were at risk. Task Force Argo was one of those groups, led by Iowa State Senator Zach Nunn. They've successfully gotten thousands out of the country, but there are thousands left. But the State Department has stopped these private groups from helping and has contracted only one group, Human First, to continue those evacuations. All the volunteer groups doing this for months, well, they were turned off by the State Department at once. Human First is working slowly, but the private groups want back in to continue to help. I spoke with Nunn to get an update on Task Force Argo and the status of people still stuck in Afghanistan looking to get out to safety.
So far, we have gotten over 2,000 American citizens and our Afghan allies, many of whom have served on 9 or more combat deployments, 20 years worth of service in country, out of country, and we have been able to get them to third-party countries. A number of these folks are in Qatar or UAE. Some have actually made it to the United States successfully. So our American citizens, we were able to evacuate quite quickly and find homes for them here. But we still, unfortunately, have American citizens left in Afghanistan. We have refugees who, many of them are, we've got Catholic nuns who couldn't make it to the airport on the fall of Afghanistan, still trapped remotely in country. We have individuals who served in special forces who are still trapped in remote areas and we're providing safe houses for. So the battle is not over. And again, we felt we had a moral obligation to help these folks, and we continue to do so to this day.
Talk to me about what that, how are these people still trapped? How can they not get out? What is that process like? It feels so foreign to me.
Well, we would hope that the U.S. government would be able to help move people who qualify forward in a rapid fashion. Unfortunately, we've seen a number of challenges. One, just getting folks out of the country. So we had to charter private aircraft. We raised about $2 million and we were able to get those aircraft out of country. Even today, the State Department is having a difficult time getting aircraft launched. To their credit, we have worked with State Department. They are working on an expedited evacuation process for individuals trapped in those third-party countries to find home here in the United States or in another country willing to help accept them. But again, we have a number of folks, our interpreter, for example, being able to get them out of country. They served with us in the combat zone. They put themselves and their family at great personal risk. To be able to help assist them and their extended families out is important. The other aspect, we have American citizens who went over, who had family there. We had an individual who was a woman. She got her brother's 3 young children. Her brother served in the special forces, was executed, and these children were going to be turned into child brides. And so she is still there. She can come home, but she can't take the 15, 13, and 9-year-old daughter with them. That's something we're working really hard to try and remedy with State Department to get that family evacuated.
So what can be done? What can everyday Iowans like me be doing? Is there anything? Are there calls that can be? I feel so helpless to hear what you're saying.
No, both your heart and your head are in the absolute right place. One of the things we would offer is, just as a volunteer, go to taskforceargo.com. We're always looking for more people to help be a handler. It's usually a lot of kind of working Afghan hours. So you're helping take care of a family, inform them of what's going on, help them with their process. The other aspect is, once folks get to places like Iowa, we had to fight really hard to ensure that some of these evacuees could actually come to their own family here, or the community here in Iowa. So doing the good work with Lutheran Services, with Catholic Charities, making that donation, offering a helping Iowa hand to help them resettle in our communities. We all know we've got a workforce shortage. These are folks that we trained for 20 years at U.S.-backed, taxpayer-funded training programs. They speak English. They're a great add to our community. So they're the best Americans that have yet to get to America.
So talk to me about numbers. How many people are we talking who are still stuck there? How many people have come here? How many people are in other countries outside of Afghanistan, so wanting to come here? How many of them are going to come to Iowa? That's a lot of numbers and we're wanting, but it's kind of some of those details.
So the context of this is great. First of all, not everyone who is in Afghanistan can or should be allowed to come to the United States. We have roughly 4,000 folks who we have helped out identify that they would qualify based on their service to be able to come to the United States or have American family members, i.e. a spouse or a child. Those are individuals that we want to tee up. There's about 4,000 left in Afghanistan. We've worked with the State Department to get about 2,500 folks in third-party countries prioritized for coming. But my priority is still the folks who are trapped behind and the American citizens who are there with family to help get them out in an expedited fashion. Ultimately, I think we'll see several hundred that might come here to Iowa, and they could be dispersed in communities like Des Moines that are quite large or quite rural, like Shelby, Iowa.
Fascinating. Okay, so how can we continue to track your adventure and your work that you are doing to help these people?
Yeah, so I think one of the great things here is go to taskforceargo.com. That will give you the updates on where we are, what we're working on. Additionally, you're going to hear many stories probably in the coming weeks here from folks who have already had the opportunity to resettle. You'll find very quickly that these are heroic individuals. The flip side of this is we've got to keep the pressure up both at the federal government and specifically with State Department to recognize that the fall of Afghanistan in August did not mean that we abandoned all responsibilities that we had to the Afghani people or to the U.S. service members who fought alongside them. We have many Afghan special forces, the guys who really protected our rear guard, held the airport as we flew our diplomatic officials out, who put their life on the line, were separated from their family, and now have been given no help. And the fear here is that these individuals are military-aged males. That's an opportunity that if they don't have U.S. support or an evacuation plan, they could easily fall into the hands and either be executed or, worst case, start working for the Taliban.
A refugee who got here with the help of Task Force Argo finally calls Iowa home. His journey with his young family is next. This family has been through it all. When Afghanistan fell to the Taliban, Rabi Mohammadi's family, his parents, his 10 siblings, they all needed to get out. He was a general in the Afghan army. He had a target on his back. At one point, they thought they were on their way to safety. They were at the Kabul airport ready to evacuate, but the help didn't pan out. They went back home to their home, fearing for their lives. That's when Nabi, Rabi's brother, who lives in Iowa now, found Senator Zach Nunn and was connected to Task Force Argo. This week, Rabi, his wife, and their 3 young children finally made it here. Take a listen to their journey as Nabi translates for his brother, who speaks mostly Farsi.
My name is Rabiullah. That I lived in Afghanistan. When Taliban attacked our country, at the end, Kabul, capital Kabul, we lost everything, like house, jobs, money, everything.
Because of my work with the U.S. Army as a translator for 5 years and his work as an Afghan Army officer for about 10, 11 years. And after the Afghan government collapsed, so the family was at risk, so we had to do something. I had to do something for my family and for him to get them to safety. So, and we were just trying and reaching out anyone we could, and then we got in touch with Senator Zach Nunn, and I explained my family situation. I told him about him working in the Afghan army and working in the prison, and so he said he will do his best to help him and the family. And then last minute, we were gonna get the whole family out of Afghanistan, but last minute we got the...
And whole family being your parents, how many siblings?
Yeah, I have 10 siblings.
Okay, so everyone was going to come.
Yeah, and 3 of them are married and they have children. But we couldn't get everyone out. But we were able to get him and 3 children and his wife out of the country, and they went to Qatar, and from Qatar to Bahrain, and from there to Washington, and then from Washington to Wisconsin. They stayed in Wisconsin for 5 months, and just going through the immigration process, and then they like 3 days ago, we were told, like a week ago, we were told that they are coming to Des Moines, and 3 days ago they got here.
What was it like in Wisconsin as you were there for 5 months with your young children, watching your son take his first steps in a military camp?
وضعیت بسیار خوب بود اونجا.
He said everything was organized there. You know, they had also there were courses they could go to, like English, American culture, and you know, different kind of courses the kids can attend as well. But you know, just staying 5 months in the military camp with the children, and you have to like go out and get you know, take him to get food every day, and it was a little bit we can say like tiring, but because we were just doing the same thing every day, we could just not wait to get out of the camp and just live, you know, the normal life.
Absolutely. Now, what does normal mean, though? I mean, you were how far up in the military?
Major.
A major in the military, and now you have to start over.
یک در افغانستان ما
We have to, now we're here and we have to start, you know, from beginning. So and we are happy that we are here, especially for my children. You know, they will have more opportunities. They will be able to go back to go to school, and also for myself and for the whole family, we are happy to be here. We want to start from, you know, somewhere, and then I will work hard, and I do not want to be lazy and just, you know, take advantage. I want to work hard. I want to build a good future for myself and for my children.
Absolutely. So what are your goals? What do you know, now you'll learn English and go to school, you'll get a job, is to kind of put yourself through that. What does that look like?
در اول خب فقط کوشش به می است که یک جای کورس شروع بکنم.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, you know, in order to stand on my own feet, I need to get my, you know, improve my English, you know, take an English course, improve my English, take my driver's license, and then also start, you know, working to be able to support the family, and then down the road planning to go to college and get a degree, and just to be able to have more opportunities. So, but for now, once I have all my documentation, just a short-term goal is to get my driver's license and just improve my English and get a job to be able to support the family.
They're here, they're safe. What's next for them and their families still stuck in home country? Next. Okay, he's here. He's ready to start a life with his family. It's a huge win, but there's a shadow cast over it all because his family is still stuck in their home country. Listen to his plans and his hope for the future.
آینده فامیل
You know, I am very concerned about the family back home because you know, they said, you know, families of, you know, translator or the Afghan army major, and you know, Afghanistan is a close community. Everyone knows each other. So as I'm here, but I'm very concerned about the family back home, about their safety, and hopefully we find a way to get them out of the country. But you know, at the same time, you know, we are happy that we are here and they are safe so far, and hopefully nothing bad happened to them.
They're out of Kabul.
Yes.
Yes, can you share more details than that?
Well, just for their safety, I can say they're out, you know, they're in north, so, but we don't know how long we're gonna be able to keep them there. You know, as long as no one know them, they're gonna live it there, and then hopefully we can find a way to, you know, for them to, if we can't get them out of the country, just to have them like start a business to be able to support themselves.
Well, welcome. We are so glad that you're here and you're safe with your beautiful family, and thank you for talking to us. What do you want the community of Iowans here, now embracing these dozens, hundreds of refugees, what do you want them to know about your journey and about what you'll do from here?
در قدم اول از خودتان
So, you know, as I say, I'm very happy to be here, and thank you for welcoming us. Thank you for thank people of Iowa for welcoming the new refugees, and I hope that they are patient with them, because these people came from a country like like Afghanistan, and everything is new for them. So it's gonna take some time for them to settle here, and it will take some patience of the Iowans, to work with them in order, for them to feel welcome, and hopefully, this is something I want to say, because I've been in touch with the people, with the refugees, and I've been trying to help them any way I can, and hopefully we can find families who want to voluntarily sponsor a family and take them like to grocery shopping, help them apply for a job, and take them to help them with getting their driver's license, because we're talking about 800-900 people, and it takes the whole community to help them, not just a few individuals. So hopefully we can get more volunteers to help these families, because the organizations are doing their best and they are overwhelmed right now, and I can say they do their best, but there are more we can do in order for these people to settle quickly, and also for them to be successful down the road.
Well, most of our conversation you heard there was with the help of his brother translating from Farsi. Robbie did want to share his own message in English.
Thanks from the United States government, and especially from the Senator Zagnan to help us. I'm very happy which my children start the school, and I can start a new job in Iowa. Thanks from you, thank you.
And then you saw Saima, his daughter, down there in the corner. She is about 6 or 7 years old, and she also has a message for everyone. This one with a little help from her uncle.
She said, I want to thank the U.S. government for taking us to safety, and I want to go to school, and I want to be a doctor in the future.
So sweet. All right, we have some more info on our website, weareiowa.com, on how you can get involved and sponsor a family if you'd like to help inside this show under the tab on weareiowa.com for This Week in Iowa.